Today I'll show you how to replace the water pump on a Volvo VNL D13. So as you see, it starts leaking. Here's a little hole. When it starts leaking, that means your water pump is bad. Now I'll show you step by step how to replace the water pump. So first thing, it's good to have like 12 empty cans. And then take a hose and from here remove that little cap here. So the hose looks like this. I'll drop a link in the description below so you can purchase it from Amazon if you want it. So I can't do it one hand, but the way you do it is just like pull and insert. So that looks like this. So the coolant goes into these cans and then it's easy to fill up. If you use a 5-gallon bucket, then it's going to be hard to fill up again. Before you start draining your coolant, it's a good idea to loosen this cap so it sucks air. So after you drain your coolant, you have to loosen up the 5 bolts on the pulley. Use a 12mm socket to loosen up the bolts. If you're not subscribed to my channel, do so because you can find a lot of useful stuff on my channel. And when you are removing the bolts, if it's not comfortable, just rotate the fan up or down to get a better access. If you want to see something new on this channel, let me know by dropping me a comment, and also give me a thumbs up if you find this video helpful. The last bolt I'll show you, it's the 5th on the left upper corner. You cannot reach it by the socket because there is not enough space in between the bolt and the fan. The socket will not fit in there, so you have to use a wrench. So now it's time to remove the belt, and I want to show you the tool I'm using. It's a ratchet with an extension. It's 1-inch extension. What it does, it shifts the ratchet. It puts it right in between the tensioner and the fan, so it's easy to push it forward. So with one hand you push that ratchet to the left, and with the other hand you push the belt off that serpentine pulley right here. Now I'm gonna use the same technique to install the belt. Just to show you that ratchet, how it looks like. It's one that's flexible and with 1-inch extension. That gives you room here to play in between the tensioner and the fan right here. So that's a good tool to have. So now what you have to do is to remove the belt tensioner, and you can do so by removing 3 bolts. It's by the filter. Again, it's 12mm. 1, 2, and the 3rd it's right there. You'll see it. I don't know if you can see. I can get my camera in there. So remove those 3 bolts. That will come off, and you'll have a lot of room to work with the water pump. The good thing is that the 3rd one, which is the one closer to the engine block, you can use a socket, and it's a lot easier to remove it that way. That's how it looks when the belt tensioner is out of the way. So there is my 3rd bolt. I'll remove it, and now it's time to remove the bolts from the water pump itself. And after you removed not all the bolts, I removed just like 3 bolts, loosened almost all of them. There is another one behind that pulley on the bottom. It's hard to reach, so now it's good time to remove the pulley. Remember, we loosened the bolts, so now it's time to do that. Again, it's a 12mm wrench socket. I'll remove the pulley and I'll show what I do next. So the pulley, it's out of the way. Now we can remove all the bolts. So there's another one right there in the back. I don't know how can you see it well, and another one right there. That's the new water pump I purchased from Amazon. I'll drop a link down below if you want to buy it as well. The main thing with the new water pump is to put that gasket the proper way into the groove. You see that little spring here? I call it spring, I don't know how to call it right. You have to squeeze it and push it in. If your gasket does not want to stay in the groove like mine sits in the groove, then you have to put it in a cup with hot water, just the gasket. You take the gasket, put it in a cup with hot water and keep it there for 10 minutes and then try again. If you miss that step, your water pump is gonna leak. Yeah, I think it's gonna come off right now. Yeah, just like this. Used same ratchet. So let's remove it. So that's the old water pump. Oh man, what happened here? So it went bad. So they used silicone. I'm not gonna use silicone. I'm gonna clean really well the area. Oh man, that bearing went bad. Did you see what it did? That's not good, but nothing we can do about it. I'll put it back and I'll just clean really well that area from all the residue from the silicone and grease and stuff with a clean cloth. I'll use a blade like this. So that's how I'm gonna clean. And then I'll take a microfiber cloth, a yellow one, and clean it. So I cleaned it really well, as you can see. See what's the damage from that bad bearing? I don't think it's a big deal, but the filter will catch it all. The filter is right there, but that's not good anyway. So now it's time to install the new one. So I wanted to show you on this one how I did it. So what I took a bolt, put it in the middle here, and I was holding it with my two hands, but like this, and very careful. I dropped it in without touching the gasket. You don't want the gasket to fall, so you have to be like really cautious, slowly. Patience is the key. And then you put the first bolt, and then you put the first bolt here and all the bolts, but you don't tie them. After you put all of them, you tie them by like the top one, the bottom one, the bottom one, the top one, this one, and that one. Don't tie them in order like this, because it's gonna leak. By the way, all the bolts are the same length. Now it's time to, as I said, tie them in a cross. So the top one, but I don't tie it all the way, just a little bit. I don't think I'll be able to see it. It took me about, I'd say, 4 rounds before I tightened them all. So I went to each bolt 4 times to tighten it. Now it's time for the pulley to go back. And to do it easier, you take one bolt, put it like this, and keep your finger on it, and this is how I'm doing it. And then find a hole like this. You're pretty much done, and then you put the second one. Pulley, it's back. Now I will tighten those bolts after I install the belt, because the belt is gonna keep that roller in place. Now I have to drop in the belt tensioner. Nothing complicated about it. So here I want to show you the pin and the bolt. These two things will help you to place the belt tensioner in the proper position. Let's see how it looks on the block. So the center hole is for the bolt and the bottom hole is for the pin. If you are not subscribed to my channel, please do so. And if you liked my video, give me a thumbs up, share, and comment down below if you want to see something new on my channel. So now it's time to install the belt. First thing you want to do is you put the belt on the bottom here on that roller for the belt tensioner, and I'll show you how. Look on the frame, you may have the diagram for the belt installation. So it's supposed to be like you see here right now. Now you have to make sure that the belt it's not on the pulley, it's in between the fan, and it's facing the same direction like I showed you with my hand. It's kind of a diving in between the fan and the pulley. After that, you push the ratchet all the way as much as you can towards the water pump, and then with the second hand you're gonna push that belt back onto the pulley. It's a lot of words. It's easier to do than to explain how to do it. Sorry, I couldn't fit my camera in to show you how it's done. Now it's time to tighten those bolts on the pulley and fill up the system with coolant. Thanks for watching.